Hello everyone, ¿Cómo está? And welcome to my international cooking channel. Today we're going to be going on a culinary journey to the country of the Philippines, where we'll be making a very well-known dish called chicken adobo. Chicken adobo dates back prior to the 16th century in the Philippines and has been known as another name prior to that. It wasn't until the Spanish settled in the Philippines that it became known as adobo, which is also known as marinade in Spanish. The primary ingredients were salt and vinegar. It also used soy sauce instead of salt, where salt was the primary ingredient before China came over and presented the soy sauce to the Philippines. Now, what are we going to need to make chicken adobo? Now, in order to make a good chicken adobo, we're going to need some ingredients to build our sauce. So in order to that, we're going to need to start off with a soy sauce, such as this one, just over Swan. And some fish sauce, some vinegar. Cane vinegar is really good because it's smooth and not quite so bitter, which you'll need in the recipe. Need some brown sugar, some pineapple juice, a lime, and the Vidalia Onion, which is nice and sweet and helps balance out the sauce. Some garlic, some bay leaves to help with the flavoring of the sauce, and some pepper. Now that we know what's going into our chicken adobo, now let's go ahead and start making the sauce. First of all, we're going to have our baking dish, big enough to fit all the chicken inside to properly marinate with the sauce. Then I'm going to start by adding 3/4 a cup of soy sauce, followed by 1/2 cup of cane vinegar. Then we're going to add 1/2 cup of pineapple juice to help sweeten the sauce up. Next we're going to add a tablespoon of fish sauce, then 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then we're going to add 3 bay leaves to help attenuate the flavor, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and lastly I need to zest out 1 lime. Now we're going to mix it all together, blend all the seasoning and flavors before we add the chicken. Now that our sauce is ready, now all you gotta do is get our chicken and place it evenly within the baking dish so it can start to marinate for about 20 minutes. As you can see, once we get our chicken in there, it's all one layer. What we'll probably want to do is about after 10 minutes, you can flip it over to the other side so it marinates a little bit evenly. And now we're gonna go ahead and cook and saute our onions and our garlic while the chicken's marinating. Go and cut our onion. We're going to go ahead and chop the garlic up. And turn on the burner. We're going to add a little bit of oil to the pan. You have to wait for it to get hot enough to saute. Alright, the oil should be hot enough. We're going to go ahead and add our onions. And we're going to saute these onions for about 2 to 3 minutes or so until they start getting brown. As you can see, the onions are now starting to turn brown, and the pan is also starting to turn brown. So our onions are starting to caramelize, but we don't want the brown to turn too brown, so we're going to add a little water to soften it up. Now that our onions are nice and soft and caramelized, we're going to go ahead and add in the garlic. Start stirring that in. Once you stir it for about 1 to 2 minutes, you start to be able to smell the aroma of that garlic. And then we know that we're ready to add the chicken, so we're going to go ahead and move everything to one side so we can make room for that chicken. I'm going to add a little bit of oil so we can brown the meat. Now if you can see the bubbling of the oil, you can also use the back of a spatula to kind of see a bubble right there. That means it's ready. Generally, that means the oil is hot enough for you to start browning and searing the meat. So you're going to go ahead and add the meat now. So you're going to want to shake off the sauce when you take it out of the baking dish, because you're trying to sear the meat. It's a little bit harder when you have more sauce in there. It's more like boiling and searing at that point. Now that the pan is nice and hot with the oil, we're going to go ahead and add our chicken, skin side up. Now if you start to run out of room, which I did in this case, you can redistribute the onions to make room for that last piece of chicken. Here we go, we have our chicken is browning. You can cook it on the skin side for about 2 minutes or so, and then we're going to add in the sauce. Now that it's been a few minutes, the meat should be browned pretty nicely. We can check on our meat. Look at that nice browning we can see on the top layer of that skin. Perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and turn everything over. I can see that looks absolutely beautiful. Perfectly browned, ready to put the rest of the sauce in. So we're going to go ahead and pour the rest of the sauce in from the baking dish. You can now see that the sauce is coming to a boil, which is perfect where we want it to be. And now we're going to go ahead and reduce the heat down, medium-low level. And then we're going to go ahead and cover it up. And we're going to let it sit there for 20-25 minutes to a fork tender. And we're also going to want to flip it over in about half that time. Next we're going to go ahead and chop up our garnish while everything's cooking. We'll go ahead and take our cilantro here and cut it up. Next, after cilantro, we're going to go ahead and chop up our other garnish, which is the green onions. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and remove the lid and flip over the chicken so that both sides get cooked evenly, and then we're going to put the top back on and let that sit for another 12 minutes until it's fork tender. Alright guys, now is the moment of truth. Now it's been 25 minutes or so. I'm going to open this up, take a look at what we have. A beautiful chicken adobo, and do a little basting. Once you get it with the sauce where you like it, where it's a little bit thicker, quite a bit more reduced, then you can go ahead and stop it. And then you can go serve it with your favorite type of carb. For me, rice. It could be jasmine rice, it could be brown rice, parboiled rice, whatever kind of rice you want. It can be cauliflower rice. Sprinkle a little garnish with a little bit of green onions and cilantro. And it's going to look beautiful. And it's going to taste amazing. Well, this concludes our journey for today, and we hope that you liked it as much as we did. If you end up making the dish and enjoy it, hit the like and subscribe button along with hitting the bell button after subscription to receive up-to-date notifications of when we will upload new cooking videos, which will be generally once a week. Additionally, tell us how much you enjoyed the dish and if you've made any experimentation adjustments yourselves by leaving a comment below. Also include any alternative versions of the dish that you may have experienced and like to share with us in the community. We would love to hear about it. Now until next time, eat well, live well, and we'll see you on our next culinary journey. Salamat. Thank you. Bye.